Legal versus illegal immigration. Know the difference. With all the talk about immigration, legal versus illegal, many people are confused about the real difference. So let's set the record straight. I've been through the immigration process myself and have proudly been a U.S. citizen for over 40 years. Today, I'm going to break down the actual steps to legally immigrate to the US and the pathway to citizenship straight from my own experience. If you want the facts, not the myths, not the stories, stay tuned because this is everything you need to know. So, what I'm about to show you can be very easily found on the US Citizenship and Immigration Services website. The URL you can see is uscis.gov. If you go on the website, you can pretty much get all the forms. You can click and read about how to apply for citizenship, learn about citizenship, naturalization test and study resources. Everything that you would need, it's on here. But out of respect for your time, I've taken the time to basically condense all that information on a very simple to read form. Before I get started, let me just point out that both my wife and I have been naturalized citizens for the better part now of 40 years, have been proud American citizens. We have both gone through the process, the legalized process of becoming a natural citizenship, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So let's get started. It's a step by step process for legal immigration to the US. The U.S. legal immigration process involves various pathways depending on the individual qualification and intent for immigration. Below is a general guide highlighting qualifications and steps to immigrate to the United States. Some of you guys may not know these things. Some of you guys may only think that there's only one way to become a citizen. So, step number one is you have to determine your immigration pathway. There are several categories under which an individual can legally immigrate to the US. First one is family based immigration. That's how my wife and I both became natural US citizens. It requires a US citizen or lawful permanent resident relative to sponsor the applicant. Immediate relatives include spouses, parents, children under 21 who have a higher priority. Next one would be employment based immigration. It requires a job offer from a U.S. employer or self petitioning in specialized fields, for example, extraordinary ability. It includes an EB1 priority workers, EB2 advanced degree or exceptional ability, and an EB3 for skilled workers. These are the different employment based immigration qualifications. You can apply for a diversity visa a lottery, which is a green card lottery, and that's for applicants from countries with historically low immigration rates to the US. Application is open annually by the diversity visa program, the DV lottery. The fourth one would be refugee or asylum status for individuals facing prosecution in their home countries based on race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. The fifth one is investor visa. It's called an EB5 program. It requires an investment of at least $800,000 in a U.S. business and the creation of at least 10 jobs. The last one is student visa, F1 or M1 as it's called, for those seeking education in the U.S., but does not directly lead to permanent residence. Step number two, you submit your petition for application. For family based immigration, the U.S. citizen or sponsor must file a Form I 130 petition for alien relative with a U.S. citizenship and immigration services, which is a USCIS. For employment based immigration, the employer typically files a form called I 140, Migrant Petition for Alien Worker with USCIS. And for investor visas, you file a form I 526, Immigrant Petition for Alien Investor. For refugees who seek asylum, apply you have to apply through the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program (USRAP) and file a form I-589 application for asylum and withholding of removal. Step number 3, you wait for USCIS processing and approval. USCIS reviews the petition and may request additional evidence. Processing time varies depending on the visa type and country of origin. Check case status online at the USCIS case status website. Step 4, visa application and National Visa Center (NVC) processing. On the USCIS, once the USCIS approves your petition, if you're outside the U.S., the application is forwarded to the National Visa Center (NVC). You pay your required fees, complete your Form DS-260 immigrant visa application, and submit supporting documents. Going to step number 5, attend visa interview at a U.S. embassy or consulate. Schedule and attend an interview at the U.S. embassy or consulate in your country. Bring required documents, passport and medical exam results, financial statements, etc. If approved, you receive an immigrant visa in the passport. Step number 6, you have to pay your USCIS immigrant fee and travel to the U.S. You pay your USCIS immigrant fee online before traveling. You enter the U.S. within the visa validity period. There's a time frame. Step number 7, you receive your green card, permanent residence card. Upon arrival, Customs and Border Protection (CBP) grants entry as a lawful permanent resident. That's the lawful entry point into the U.S. The green card, Form I-551, is mailed within a few months. Step number 8, you can apply now for U.S. citizenship, optional after 5 years. After 5 years of permanent residency or 3 years if married to a U.S. citizen, apply for naturalization by submitting a Form N-400. Pass the citizenship test and interview. All these things, as I said, can be found on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. The link is right here. You can go to the U.S. Department of State, visa information. The links are right here. The Diversity Visa Program, which is the lottery program, the link is over here. Natural Visa Center processing, which the link is over here. At all this processing, there is nowhere that allows for anybody to cross the border through a non-authorized legal point of entry into the country. And these are all the videos that you see on all the social media or the news showing millions of people going through rivers, mountains, all kinds of non-authorized points of entries into the U.S. without any of this steps being taken. They put themselves at risk of getting hurt, not to mention the immigration officers, and therefore, again, this is the legal process of immigration. I had to go through this process, and so did my wife. Myself, we were invited by a first degree. In other words, let me go back here. The family-based immigration. This is the one that I came through. It requires a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident relative to sponsor the applicant. My mom and myself were sponsored by my grandparents who already lived in the U.S. Simple. Then we were able to follow these steps: submit petition application, wait for USCIS processing and approval, obtain a visa application, attend the visa interview in the embassy, obtain the pay the USCIS immigration fees, receive our green cards, enter the country, wait 5 years while we lived here, and then go through the interview process and finally becoming a U.S. citizen. This is the only legal process to become a U.S. citizen. It's very disheartening that the people who live in America, who are not aware of the process, are screaming and yelling about the immigration process. I understand that there's many people in other countries that are living in difficult conditions, either because of their government or their financial resources or anything in between. But that does not give them the right to break US law and come across the border without going through this legal process. Furthermore, in my opinion, it's even more obscene and unreasonable for American citizens to scream and yell about the illegal immigration that's going on in our country when there is set laws and a set process for legal immigration. I like to think that I'm speaking for most Americans when I say, including myself, that America is an immigrant country, but there's a legal process in this immigration process. We are a country of laws like every place else. So, why are certain people who are American citizens screaming and yelling about this process? Furthermore, why are politicians circumventing this process, ignoring this process, and want to have illegal immigration? Because that's what it is. It's illegal. If you do not go through this process and you enter America under any other way, you are an illegal immigrant in this country. Now, I know that this video might get scrutinized because I'm using these terms. But guess what? This is not for monetization. This is wanting to bring the truth about legal immigration in this country. I hope you guys found value in this video. I hope that YouTube does not ban this video. If you have any questions, please share in your comments. Help us navigate through the algorithms of YouTube. Consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Till the next time, have a good one.